Hey guys, this is Jackie back with another PLL Theory video. Today, I'm going to be discussing this theory that I just thought of, that it ties back to my Bethany Super A theory, and I think that Bethany Young could have possibly been there the night of the Jenna thing, and that she was hurt in the accident. Like I said, this ties back to my Bethany's Uber A and Toby's twin theory. So if you have not watched those videos, you're going to be really lost in this video. So if you haven't seen that yet, pause this right now. I'm going to put the links to that theory in the description, and go watch that and then come back, and then you'll understand what I'm talking about. If you've already seen those videos, then just continue. Alright, this is my third time taking this video, because the first time I messed up, and then the second time I was almost done. I had literally a minute left, and I accidentally pressed stop. And now I kind of hate myself a little bit, and it was a really good take too. So alright, hopefully third time's the charm. Alright, so I was thinking, what did Alison see in the garage the night of the Jenna thing? At first I thought it was just Jenna and Toby having sex, and that's when she found out about them. But, I mean, that doesn't make sense, because if Toby was in there, you think he would have been hurt, which he wasn't. I mean, Jenna was blinded, Toby didn't have any physical injuries. So it's very likely that he was not in there. That's not what Alison saw. She probably knew about them already before that night. And that also brings up the question, what was Alison's motive for the Jenna thing? She tells the girls that Toby was looking in on them, but if you believe Toby, like I obviously do, because like I've said many times, I love him, I want to believe he's telling the truth, then he's not really a peeping Tom. He was not looking at them at all. Alison made that up. And if Alison's motive was to hurt Jenna, then why would she have acted so shocked to see Jenna inside, if that was what she was really shocked at? Then, you think that would be exactly what she wanted to happen. So why would she act shocked? I mean, she wasn't faking it for the girls. It was a genuinely shocked expression that she was making when no one was looking at her face. So you would think that whatever she saw actually really shocked her. And, I really don't think that she was going after Jenna and Toby simply because Jenna didn't want to be her friend and Toby didn't want to be her boyfriend. For a while, I did think that, and I thought that maybe Alison was just a psychopath. But I mean, now that I think about it, I think that perhaps Alison knew Bethany was going to be there, and this was really an attack on Bethany, not on Jenna or Toby. And so Alison lied to the girls about Toby peeping in because she needed an excuse to go over there and do this prank. But Bethany was the intended target. She just couldn't tell the girls that. And then the reason she was shocked was because she saw that Jenna was in there with Bethany at the time, and she never intended for Jenna to get caught in the crossfire. That's why she was shocked, because the only person she wanted to hurt was Bethany. She didn't really want to hurt Jenna. She just did it by accident because she'd already thrown the firework in when she saw her, and so, she needed to think of something really quick to get herself off the hook. I think Bethany could have been sneaking out of Radley to watch Toby, and she found out about Jenna raping Toby while she was doing that. I'm going to bring up the song Walking After Midnight, which if you follow Marlene King on Instagram, she said there that this song is very important to the show and the mystery. And this isn't a super original thought. I mean, lots of other people have come up with the exact same conclusions that I'm about to tell you I came up with. So you may have heard this before, but I'm going to mention it anyway, just in case anyone out there has not and is not familiar about what I'm about to tell you. There are some other people who thought of the same things I did, and they just beat me to posting these ideas. There's a good video by G_XOXO, which I only watched it once a couple weeks ago. But it was pretty close to what I'm about to say and what I came up with on my own. So if you want to go watch that video, it's pretty good. I would recommend it. Anyway, so the song goes, I'm always walking after midnight searching for you. I think that points to Bethany spying on someone. I was thinking originally perhaps Jessica De Laurentiis or Alison, because she blamed the De Laurentiises for Marion's death because Jessica's the one who killed her. And then this instantly made me think of Toby, this next line I'm going to say, because by the point that Marlene posted this, I already had my Bethany and Toby twin theory. I had already come up with it. And the line goes, I stopped to see a weeping willow crying on his pillow. Maybe he's crying for me. So I think Bethany also went to go watch Toby because, she wanted to someday have a relationship with her brother. She was hoping that someday she'd be able to come clean and tell him the truth, and they could, have a brother-sister relationship they'd been deprived of. And she hoped that he missed her and that he remembered her and loved her too, hence the maybe he's crying for me. She was hopeful that Toby felt the exact same way about her, that she felt for him, and that, someday they were going to be able to be close again. There's also lines that go, I walk for miles along the highway, well that's just my way of saying I love you, and just hoping you may be somewhere walking after midnight searching for me. This goes back to her love for Toby, causing Bethany to wander at night, trying to prove her love by getting revenge on those who had hurt their family, those who had been involved in Marion's death, and who had hurt Toby in the past. Because Bethany was mentally ill, I think she thought that by getting back at these people who had hurt them, when she told Toby about it, he would be touched and moved and would think, wow, she must really love me, and that by doing these things to people who had hurt their family in the past, he would, feel moved, and that he would love her too when she finally could come clean and tell him the truth. She thought, in her mentally ill state, that, by doing these awful things to people who had hurt them, he would love her back. She thought this was a sign of love. She was not stable enough to realize, just how crazy these ideas were. If she had been, totally mentally stable, she wouldn't have done this, obviously. She would have just, she would just say, I love you like a normal person. But, Bethany had anger problems. She was violent. She was, mentally ill. So, she probably didn't have the same logic and reasoning everyone else did. And so I think that when Bethany saw Jenna and Toby together and she realized what Jenna was doing to him, she decided she was going to get back at Jenna as well, and that would also, help her get Toby to love her, and he would be moved when he found out that she had threatened Jenna with being exposed. And I think Alison found out about Bethany's plan to show up at their house that night somehow. Like I said in my other video, I think Alison could have gone to Radley dressed as Vivian Darkbloom, because there's the scene with Eddie Lamb, the orderly, and Arya, where he says to Arya, have I met you before? And I think that's because she kind of triggered his memories of Alison as Vivian. What was that guy's name? Duncan. Duncan, when he saw Arya from behind with her dark hair and the red coat, he thought she was Alison as Vivian. And so I think that's kind of a similar thing. Seeing Arya triggered Eddie's memories of seeing Alison come to Radley dressed as Vivian. So Allie knew that Bethany knew about Jessica killing Marion, and she wanted Bethany to shut up. She didn't want Bethany to tell anybody. So she decided she was going to hurt Bethany the night that she came to the Kavanaughs. And then Bethany would be scared into silence, and all of Alison's problems would be over. She thought that if she could scare Bethany into silence, her family wouldn't be able to get hurt. Bethany wouldn't tell anyone the truth, and then Alison's family would be in the clear. This theory also explains why Jenna did not tell everyone that Toby wasn't the one who did it. I was watching a video last night by PLL Freaks 13, where they were talking about unanswered PLL questions from season 1. And they mentioned this about, why didn't Jenna tell everyone that Toby didn't do it? What did Alison have on her that was so bad? And I never really thought about this before, but their video made me really start to wonder about this, because, Jenna claims that she loved Toby. Obviously I don't think she did, because if she did, she wouldn't have forced him to have sex with her. She wouldn't have done something so awful to someone if she really loved him. But, we don't need to go into that, If you get me started on how much I hate Jenna, I won't be able to shut up. And so that raises an interesting question. Now, I think the reason Toby went along with this, well, he didn't know there was a video out there proving he was the victim. He didn't know there was any evidence supporting his claims. If Alison told everyone that Toby was raping Jenna, even without proof, let's be honest, in our society, there are a lot of people who believe that a man cannot be a victim of sexual assault. Jenna looks really sweet and innocent to an outsider. She looked like an innocent little girl, innocent, now blind girl on top of that. Whereas Toby was, kind of an outcast, the black cat of Rosewood. And, he could easily physically overpower Jenna. That's not a stretch. He just never did while Jenna was raping him, because then, she was going to say that, He was the aggressor, and so he was, he couldn't fight back because no matter what he did, he was going to lose. So I feel like if Alison told the truth, even without evidence, a lot of people were going to believe her, and they were going to think that Toby was a rapist. And, he probably wouldn't have been able to go to jail because, obviously there's no proof that he raped Jenna because he didn't. He was the one being raped, not her. But it still would have been really bad because a lot of people would have thought he was guilty. He would have been labeled a rapist, and, he would have been even more of an outsider in that town than he already was. He had a split second to make this decision. He did not have a lot of time to ponder this. He made the decision very quickly. I think he probably thought that if he took the fall for an accident, that would give him a better chance of being able to move forward after this. Perhaps people would not hate him so much if it was just an accident. Because, if the public believes him to be a rapist, they're going to be merciless, but if he just takes the fall for an accident, there's more of a chance that his life could, not be ruined. Really, no matter what he does, he's going to have to take the fall for something he didn't do. He had a very short amount of time to decide what he was going to do, and I feel like in the moment he thought that was a better option, to take the fall for an accident. To say that he hurt Jenna by accident, instead of letting people believe that he raped her. And also, by getting sent to juvie, he was going to get away from Jenna. And I think he really did want to get away from her because, she'd been doing this to him for probably months. We don't know exactly how long, but it wasn't like a one-time thing. She was forcing him to have sex with her repeatedly for a long time. Imagine how that feels, the toll that takes on someone. And, I think he probably really did want to get away from her because if he went to juvie, yeah, it was going to suck, but she couldn't rape him anymore while he was there. And I think he really wanted to get out. Like, he'd been a victim for so long. He didn't want that anymore. He couldn't stand having to sleep with her against his will any longer. That is awful. Like, I don't feel like people really think about that. Imagine how that must feel. To have to sleep with someone for so long and know that if you tell anyone anything, that you're going to be thought of as the rapist and instead of the victim you really are. Just imagine that. That's awful. So then back to Jenna. Jenna also should not have known about the tape until Labor Day, because according to Alison and Jenna, Alison came to Jenna's in the hospital the day that she went missing and told her she had the video of Jenna blackmailing Toby into sex. So at that time, Jenna should have believed that Alison had nothing, right? Well, if Bethany had already taken off after being hurt in the explosion, Jenna could have mistakenly thought that Bethany was on Alison's side, and that if Jenna didn't go along with what Alison told her, Bethany was going to give Alison the proof that she had, or claim to Jenna she had. And so Jenna simply didn't realize that Bethany and Alison were on opposing sides. She didn't know that Bethany was on Toby's side, not Alison's, because Bethany didn't make that clear in their discussion. And so I think that Jenna thought that if she didn't do what Alison said, that then they were going to, get her sent to jail for what she did. And she, even though she thought she loved Toby and claimed she loved him, she decided she needed to let him take the fall in order to prevent herself from being sent to prison. Or Alison could have had something else on Jenna. What, I really don't know. I honestly have no idea what that could be, but it's a possibility that Jenna could have some other secret, even worse than that one that Alison knew about. And so if Uber A has some kind of scar or deformity, like from the Jenna thing, that would explain why they wear so many masks, they have the Black Widow disguise, and things like that, if there's some kind of physical deformity. There's also distorted faces in Bethany's drawings, which could mean there's something wrong with her face. She has some kind of mark. There's something physically wrong with her. And also there's been several fires over the course of the show. Like, there was when Jenna was trapped in a fire. There was when the Kavanaugh's house was blown up. There was the lodge fire. So that could mean something. There could be a reason why Uber A chooses fire so many times. Alright, well, this is a really rough theory, so please tell me what you think. If there's anything I forgot to mention, any other reasons that you think this theory could be true or not true. Alright, I'm going to try to post a video recapping Tuesday night's new episode on Wednesday, but I can't guarantee it's going to be up on Wednesday because, it really depends on how much homework I have Wednesday night if I have free time. If I don't have free time to post the video on Wednesday, I will post it on Thursday or Friday, but I definitely will be recapping the episode at some point this upcoming week. Alright, thanks guys, let me know what you think, and I'll see you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!